Tanjiro is perhaps one of the most beloved anime characters of all time. However, besides his kindness, he's quite strong as well. The world of Demon Slayer is teeming with overwhelmingly strong characters, including the upper-ranked demons and the hashiras. These hashiras have basically mastered their breathing techniques and are the pinnacle of strength. Now, what if Tanjiro goes up against all these hashiras one by one? Would he be able to defeat at least one of them? Or will the hashiras turn him into a ragdoll? However, before we begin, let's talk about Tanjiro's abilities here a bit. You see, we've divided Tanjiro into 4 categories based on his progressions in the storyline. There's the base Tanjiro, which we encountered in the first few episodes. Then we have the post-training Tanjiro, who mastered the water-breathing technique following his intense 2-year training with Urokodaki. This Tanjiro can take down your random street demons rather easily, and is strong enough to go up against some lower moons as well. After this, we have Tanjiro that has mastered the sun-breathing alongside the transparent world, and has acquired the Demon Slayer mark as well. For those of you who don't know what the transparent world is, let me explain. Transparent world is actually a specialized form of extrasensory perception that allows the Demon Slayers who have awakened the Demon Slayer marks to accurately predict their opponent's movements. They can perceive the flow of blood, breathing, muscle contractions, and stuff like that. Before we move forward, I'd like you to skip this video if you don't want to get spoiled or anything like that. You still have time, buddy. Alright. In the end, we have the Demon Tanjiro. You see, in the final battle against Muzan, the Demon Lord actually transformed Tanjiro into a demon, and not just an ordinary one. Tanjiro gained such immense strength that he could actually rival Muzan in literally everything. Shooting beams from his mouth like a maniac, overwhelming strength, and even those crazy whip-like movements. This Tanjiro even had the benefit of being able to walk under the sun, which is quite crazy if you think about it. Now that we've categorized Tanjiro, let's put him up against all these Hashira and see where he stands. I think all of us can agree that Shinobu is the weakest Hashira. Despite her insane speed that even the Upper Moon 2 Doma recognized, Shinobu's attacks aren't that strong, and she just uses poison to subjugate her opponents. This makes you think that Tanjiro might stand a chance against her. But hey, Shinobu is still a Hashira, and her insane agility and years of battle experience are not a joke. She would absolutely wipe the floor against base Tanjiro and the level 2 Tanjiro. Even though the level 2 Tanjiro has mastered water breathing, he still lacks battle experience that would ultimately lead to his loss. Now it's about time we talk about level 3 Tanjiro. With his mastery over sun breathing, transparent world, and the Demon Slayer mark, this Tanjiro is definitely a force to be reckoned with. I mean, that guy actually went toe-to-toe with upper rank 3 Akaza, so what makes you think that Shinobu stands a chance against him? She might be able to prolong the fight, owing to her stamina and insane speed, but Tanjiro would ultimately win. I guess we don't have to talk about the level 4 Demon King Tanjiro, right? That guy is an absolute unit. He's even stronger than Muzan, so Shinobu would be obliterated hundreds of times over. Let's talk about the Sound Hashira, Lord Tengen Uzui. Well, for the base and level 2 Tanjiro, things will proceed quite similarly to Shinobu since Tengen is stronger than her. Base Tanjiro and level 2 Tanjiro are basically fodder for the Hashira. I mean, these overpowered beings can take down lower moons like they're your average street demons, while level 2 Tanjiro is struggling against Rui. Now let's move on to level 3 Tanjiro. Well, some of y'all might think that Uzui would absolutely fold Tanjiro, but here's a fact. Uzui won't win against level 3 Tanjiro. Uzui is insanely strong and is the fastest Hashira, which makes sense since he's a ninja. Uzui's sound breathing also allows him to read his opponent's movements, but that only works if the fight prolongs. Tanjiro, on the other hand, already possesses the transparent world ability, which is basically a cheat code. He would speed blitz the living shit out of Uzui. I know some of y'all are diehard fans of Uzui, but Tanjiro takes the win here. And I don't think we have to talk about Demon Tanjiro here. That dude is just way overpowered. Next up, we have our favorite Hashira, Rengoku. At this point, we should stop talking about the base Tanjiro and level 2 Tanjiro. I mean, they would get obliterated by any Hashira. Let's talk about level 3 Tanjiro here. The fact that Rengoku hasn't awakened the Demon Slayer mark already puts him at a disadvantage against Tanjiro. Another interesting thing I'd like to mention here is that Akaza mentioned during their battle that Rengoku was quite close to achieving the realm of the highest, and I'm pretty sure that he was talking about the transparent world. Since we've already mentioned just how overpowered this ability is, Rengoku stands no chance against level 3 Tanjiro. Some of y'all might argue that Rengoku is the flame Hashira, which is quite similar to sun breathing, and that makes him superior. But hey, these two breathing styles might seem similar, but that's because of the visual effects. If you remove them, there's nothing similar in them, and the fact that all breathing styles were derived from sun breathing already puts Tanjiro at an advantage. We have talked about the flame, insect, and sound Hashira so far. Now we'll talk about the love Hashira, Mitsuri Kanroji. As we've previously mentioned, we won't talk about base and level 2 Tanjiro, since they're useless. Against level 3 Tanjiro, Mitsuri might stand a chance, owing to her Demon Slayer mark and her unique whip-like weapon that allows her to stay at a distance from her enemies. Tanjiro, on the other hand, would counter her attack with the transparent world like he did against Muzan, but that doesn't mean that he'd be able to counterattack, since Mitsuri would still keep her distance from him and ambush him with attacks. Another thing I'd like to mention here is that Mitsuri's main strength is her overwhelming strength, and the Demon Slayer mark would further enhance that. If the battle prolongs, Mitsuri would have the upper hand since her stamina is far superior to that of Tanjiro. Considering all these factors, I would give the win to Mitsuri. It would get insanely tough for Tanjiro to tackle her weird attack patterns, and he would ultimately fall. This is where things get interesting. In all the previous battles, we've witnessed that Tanjiro had a slight upper hand owing to his transparent world ability. However, against Muichiro, Tanjiro is at a huge disadvantage. Unlike the previous Hashira, Muichiro possesses the transparent world ability and has also awakened the Demon Slayer mark. Well, you might wonder how Muichiro has the upper hand when both of them possess the exact same abilities. Muichiro's battle experience and his mastery over his breathing style makes him an absolute unit. His strongest attack, the Obscuring Cloud, might not work on Tanjiro, owing to the transparent world, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't even need to use it. His Demon Slayer mark and the transparent world combined with his insane stamina are enough to tackle Tanjiro. Well, Muichiro would defeat level 3 Tanjiro, but up against Demon Tanjiro, he won't stand a chance. We can just agree that Demon Tanjiro would solo all the Hashira, even if they were fighting together. Since the level 3 Tanjiro has already lost against Mitsuri and Muichiro, things will get even tougher for him from this point onward. Just like Muichiro, the Serpent Hashira Obanai possesses the transparent world ability, and has also awakened his Demon Slayer mark. One thing that makes him a formidable foe is his unique fighting style. His breathing technique makes his katana extend like a snake, which is quite confusing for his opponents. Even the Demon King Muzan got confused by this weird ability. Another thing that makes Obanai unique is the fact that his pet snake Kabamaru can act as his eyes. We witnessed this during the battle against Muzan, where he saved Tanjiro even though he was blinded. He even kept up against Muzan with Kabamaru's help. Considering all this, Tanjiro stands no chance against Obanai and would get absolutely folded. Well, Obanai would get folded by Demon Tanjiro though. Perhaps the most interesting battle of this entire video is Giyu versus Tanjiro. Like the other Hashira, Giyu will have no trouble taking down base and level 1 Hashira, but it's the level 3 Tanjiro that would trouble him most. All the previous Hashira we've mentioned have had some overwhelming advantage against Tanjiro, with their unique breathing styles and everything. However, Giyu is the most orthodox Demon Slayer out there. His entire fighting style revolves around his mastery over his water breathing. Tanjiro, on the other hand, has already transcended past that, and is easily more powerful than traditional water breathing. Besides this, Giyu's feats during the battle against Akaza are insignificant compared to Tanjiro, who decapitated the demon. Considering all this, Tanjiro would absolutely demolish Giyu in battle, and I'm pretty sure we don't have to talk about level 4 Tanjiro here. Let's talk about the Wind Hashira. To be honest, this battle would be even easier for Tanjiro, since he already holds a grudge against Sanemi for hurting Nezuko. Besides this, it has been stated that Sanemi and Giyu are on par with each other, and his fighting style is also quite ordinary and traditional. Considering Tanjiro's abilities like his transparent world and the Demon Slayer mark, Sanemi stands no chance against him. I guess we don't even have to talk about this guy here. That would be blasphemy. The Stone Hashira, Gyomei Himejima, is the most overpowered Demon Slayer out there. His stats are just out of this world, and no other Demon Slayer or Hashira even comes close to him. He's just so damn overpowered that he managed to keep up with Upper Moon 1 Kokushibo even without anyone's aid. This is just how strong he is. With this in mind, only Demon Tanjiro would be able to win against this beast. That's it, folks. Let me know in the comments which Hashira is your favorite. Bye!